Hi guys. So, what do you do when someone talks over you? I mean, like, they are bluntly talking over you and it happens like a few times. Like, what do you do? What do you say? I'm going to try to give you exactly what to say, how to say it, and when to say it, word by word. So I hope this helps you. Hi, my name is Rachel G. Thank you for joining me today. I'm making a different type of video. It's more about confidence, but it's confidence on the inside, right? This is the one thing that I had terrible advice in. Like, honestly, just the worst advice, and I had terrible experience in. And I mean, I wish someone came along and kind of given me this advice when I was just starting off in my career world, in the business world. And it's really how to deal with people when they're talking over you. And I'm going to specifically be talking about the work environment, because when you're with your friends, you could be like, yo, you talking over me. Like, you could clearly tell them, but when you are in a room with your boss and your bosses and your coworker, and there's people at different levels, and it was really hard for me to kind of like get there. And the honest truth, I mean, I hate saying it, but I've always felt like this, is that I am not, well, just out of college, I didn't feel like I had the best education. I always felt lesser than everybody. And I was in a room mostly with like old men who were experienced, who were well off, and I was just always the new girl, and I was always like, starting a new different challenge. So because of that, I was always the one learning and the one who was growing. So it was just very hard for me to figure out what to say and how to say it when you're being cut off. My rule of thumb is, if it's happening 3 times, if someone cuts you off 3 times, I feel like it's appropriate to respond to them. And the honest truth is that they may not even know that. They may not realize they're being disrespectful, they're being rude. They may not know that at all. And sometimes I had this one boss, it was just his personality. Like, if you went into a room to ask about something specific, like a yes or no answer, you would be in there for an hour because he just talks so much. So I just want you to really, really, really be careful in like the battles you pick, especially in like a group setting with your boss and other coworkers. But if it happens about 3 times, I think that that's a good time for it to be addressed. So I'm going to give you 3 solutions, and hopefully, and maybe I'll see the time. I'll see if I could squeeze in some stories that might be helpful to you. So the first thing is pretty much this technique where you directly call someone by their name, because their name will grab their attention. After you get their name, you compliment them in what they're saying. And then you keep talking about what you are saying. So I'm going to kind of demonstrate it. It's like you're saying their name as if they're doing something wrong to get their attention. And you will say it as long as it takes to get their attention. So I practiced this skit with my husband last night. So I was like, so I'm here, I'm talking, the color blue is so nice, and I think it's gonna be perfect, and it's gonna complement, and someone's over there, red is the most perfect color in the world. And he's just talking all over me. And I'm gonna say, let's just call him Tim. I'm gonna say, Tim, yes, red would actually be wonderful because it's really going to grab everyone's attention. Blue is the opposite. It's calming, it's surreal. It's going to remind us of the ocean, and the ocean is right across the street from us. There. And that's pretty much how you would do it. You're in a group setting, you're talking, someone cuts you off. You can wait for them to pause, but I would suggest you go in right away, you address their name, you compliment them, because that's going to be like pretty confusing to them. It's going to really be like, wait a second, what just happened? Like she got my attention, she complimented me, but now she took over the conversation. I wish I knew this technique when I was so much younger, because it would have helped so much. And yeah, I mean, that's just how you would do it, because the compliment throws them off. And I would do this for someone who is my coworker, who is equal to me. I would not obviously do this to like my boss. You know, my boss, they're talking over me. That would be different, because he's like a higher social status or whatever. You know what I'm saying? My second point, which is kind of brave to do, but it is to actually address it head on. And that would simply be, oh, give me a second to finish my thought, because I would love to hear your thought. And that's how you would do it. You would say, give me a second to finish my thought. And then you compliment them, because I want to hear your thought. Like, I want to hear what you're saying, and I can't do that. And that's a very, very straightforward way to handle that, right? It's very respectful, and I think that it just gets the point across very clearly. I was gonna make my third tip to talk to the person. Now, I would only recommend this. I would not recommend this. I would not recommend this, because I've tried this route. There was this particular girl who gave me a really hard time, and she did something very nasty, and I talked to her about it. I took her to the corner so that no one else can hear us, because I did not want to embarrass her, and I addressed the situation. I always ask if I did something wrong first. She, said she was sorry and all that. And then she went to HR and lied. I mean, she lied. She said that I threatened her, that I cursed her out, and all this stuff. And I had an internship at one of the best architectural firms. I was so excited, and I was there to make connections and all that. And here someone comes and lies about what I said. And thank the Lord, there was this old lady who's been working there for years, like since she was out of college. She was eavesdropping on the conversation, and she was like, no, I listened to the whole thing. Rachel did not say any of that. So, I mean, she was honestly like my saving grace. And that's kind of when I learned, like, if someone is going to be rude to you in your face, disrespectful to you in your face, how much more rude and disrespectful will they be when you're not looking or the boss is not looking? So, addressing someone, especially in a work environment, is tough. You know, you have to really know that person. And even addressing your boss, because here's the thing. If you're in a meeting with your boss and he sees that someone's constantly cutting you off and he doesn't stand up for you, that's a problem, because that's going to create a culture of disrespect. You see what I'm saying? So it's going to make it okay for everyone to do that. So that's why I that is not my third option, to just talk to the person, because they know what they're doing, But my third option is to start investing in yourself. So I know you're going to be like, Rachel, that's so silly, but hear me out. Hear me out. Start taking care of yourself. Start getting good at your job. And start looking on what is out there for jobs. Okay, so all the jobs that you see want you to learn this particular program. Invest in yourself. Go to college, sign up, and just take that one class that's going to teach that one program, or that's going to teach just one particular skill that you're going to need to get more experience. Now, your job is either going to respect you for that and want to promote you and make you into a better person, kind of build you up because you're investing in their company. And if you don't see that happening, if you don't see that people are changing their perspective of you, because you're adding not just to you but to the company, then you start applying to other jobs, and then you have something in your hand that, listen, if this does not change, I will go somewhere else. And that is the thing that's going to get you over the hump. And I hate to say it like that, but it's honestly the truth. Like, if you are being disrespected in that sense and it's constant, I highly recommend that you start investing in yourself so that you can have that card in your hand that I'm gonna leave if this doesn't change, because that's the only way you can really do it. So guys, I really hope you enjoy my 3 tips. Like I said, I wish that I got these 3 tips when I was just starting off, because it's really about knowing what to say and when to say it and how to say it and what to do in these situations. And sadly enough, like, especially women, statistically, not just my experience, statistically, we are the ones who are constantly talked over. And I get it. We have a softer, nicer voice, but at the same time, that does not mean what we're saying is not important. So I hope these tips have helped you. Thank you so much for your your comments, your support, all that. I really appreciate you, and I hope this helps you. Bye.